I don't care how busy it may get. If you are feeling overwhelmed and you are all over the place and you really can't focus and you cannot concentrate and get anything done, that is a sign right there that you need to take a step back. So that may be like, let me go and take 15 minutes. Let me go take an hour. And when you take that step back, you're not thinking about your job, you're not thinking about the task, because they will be there when you get back. Baby, you go home and put yourself in timeout. If you're not having a good day, don't you go mess up somebody else's day. All right, welcome back to episode 8 of the Kitchen Table Podcast. And today we are going to be talking about self-care. Yes, and I know a lot of people have their own definition of what self-care is. Some people think that self-care is going to go get your hair done, your nails done, hanging out with your friends, going to go get body massages and all that things that are sounding real good. But self-care is really not that. Self-care is from within. So we are going to briefly discuss why self-care is important for our overall well-being, and I am really going to share some a personal journey. And so I don't know if you guys noticed my last podcast, but this podcast, I have not worn my prosthetic eye and will not be wearing it forever. I retired it, and I will share I will share that with y'all at the end of the podcast. So I just kind of want to just give a little content to something that's obvious, and we will talk about this at the end of this podcast. So what is self-care? So we're going to define self-care and its importance and what it looks like. So self-care, just got a brain fog. Hold on for a minute. So let me pull it up. Just lost my stuff. Hold on. There we go. So self care, it is proactive steps that individual take to preserve and to improve their overall well being. It's What's all included in self care is your physical, your mental, your emotional, and a social aspect of self care. And so, what does self care looks like? So, self care, when we're talking about the physical part of self care, we're talking about nutrition, exercise, sleep, and medical care. And so, while ago, I just named off the top things when I say self care. People think going to get your nails done, your hair, eating lunch, going to get massages, But when we talk about physical self care, that's making sure that you're eating enough and have enough healthy diet, that you are putting nutrition back into your body, exercising, sleeping, and making sure that you're good medical. So going to go get those well care checks, those healthy well care checks with your doctor and stuff. Um, but self care can look a little different from other people, but that's one of the main things for physical. Now, emotional self care is your ability to express your emotions in a healthy manner and setting boundaries and self compassion for yourself. And so, one of the things that I work with when it comes down to self care with a lot of females, clients that I have, a lot of females struggle with self love. And so, self care and self love and setting boundaries, they all go hand in hand with each other. So, you can't have one without the other. It kind of balances everything out and kind of makes everything healthy. So, when we're talking about self compassion, we're actually talking about extending compassion to ourselves. So a lot of people that struggles with self-love, um, I'm getting off a little, but I'm just trying to make a point, is because they have not been loved well. growing up, they was not loved well. And when you have not been loved well, you do not know how to love yourself well. And so what a lot of people do is that not being loved well can create a hole and an emptiness inside of you. And so what a lot of people do is that they look for tangible things to fill that. And that gives them their worth, and it causes them to love themselves because they may be good at their careers, and so they may be getting a lot of accolades for the good work that they do and what they do. They also may always be showing up for people and not showing up for themselves, and so they get in that positive affirmation. Or anytime anyone asks them to do something, they always there to do it and stuff. And so them doing those type of things makes them feel love when they are getting accolades about what they're doing. But the thing with that is that things go, people go, and relationships gonna end one way or another. Somebody gonna die. If the relationship don't die, somebody gonna die, because we all are appointed to die anyway. So for whatever reason, things gonna end. So when you are using tangible things to fill in something that you need from within, that's exactly what it is. It's temporarily. It's nothing eternal. So let me get back on. I'm off the rabbit trail. So let me get back over here. Mental self care, mindfulness, and limiting negative media and therapy. And so you have to make sure that you are practicing mindfulness. And so when we talk about mindfulness, that can be like deep breathing exercise. That can be like let me disconnect from a situation or something that's going on for me to reconnect, because mentally I'm not in a healthy mental space. So I do need to disconnect so I can reconnect. Social self care, making sure that you have quality relationships, saying no and setting those limits. And then we also have the spiritual self care, which is your faith, making sure that you are doing some meditation, you're taking time and you reflecting and you spending time, in your word or reading your Bible or whatever it is that you guys do during, your spiritual time. Um, Steps for to start caring for yourself. So here are some steps that you can start taking to caring for yourself. You have to identify what you need. Reflection on questions to assess your self care needs. You want to start small. So you want to pick one or two areas to focus on. So a lot of times when we start talking about self care and what we're going to focus on, what is important to you? What is the top of your line? Is it your mental health that's important? Is it your physical health? Is it your spiritual life? Your spiritual health, is that important? So you've trying to figure out which one of these things that are important to you, and then when you figure out which one that's important, start with the first one. And when you get that one mastered and learning how to balance it, and then implement the second one into your life. So figuring out what that looks like, scheduling it, treating self-care as a non-negotiable part of your day. So I like to tell my clients that maybe having a stressful day at work, trying to make deadlines and a whole bunch of stuff going on, I don't care how busy it may get. If you are feeling overwhelmed and you are all over the place and you really can't focus and you cannot concentrate and get anything done, that is a sign right there that you need to take a step back. So that may be like, let me go and take 15 minutes. Let me go take an hour. And when you take that step back, you're not thinking about your job. You're not thinking about the task, because they will be there when you get back. But what is some things that you can do to bring yourself into the now? Like, what is going on right now? And so that's what mindfulness do. Mindfulness can bring you back into a space, and it can bring you back into focusing on what's going on now and not worrying about all the extra. And so some of that could be, once again, breathing, or using your five senses, taking the time to see, what are you hearing? Like, are you hearing the air conditioner? Are you hearing cars outside? Focusing on that. What do you see in the area that you're in? Can you count the towels that's on the ceiling? What are you smelling? How does it feel sitting in this chair? Can you feel the chair and stuff? So, and I know that sounds a little like, oh, that don't sound right. That sounds crazy. No, what you're doing is you are intentionally bringing focus into what's going on in the now, right now. It is allowing you to disconnect. And when you do that, it can bring some sense of calmness and some sense of peace, and making sure that you always know what you have control of. So sometimes we can work ourselves in a frenzy, and really not understanding, what do I got control of? Can I control this, or I can't? And just focus on what you can control. Um, Setting boundaries. We just talked about that in the last podcast, protecting your time and your energy, and listening to your body and mind, recognizing burnt out and stress signals. So, when we talk about listening to your body and listening to your mind, so sometimes, you guys, we can overwork our body, and we can work and we can keep going and we can keep pushing, because some of us want to be superheroes and we want to be trying to multitask and doing everything for everyone and just doing it, and feel that, okay, if I take a break, it's going to not cause for everything to be on time. Or if I slow down for a minute, this is going to happen. If I delegate this work to somebody else, oh, they may not do it the way that I want them to do it or the way that I need to be done. So what happens is that you keep doing it. And if you don't take a break, your body's going to make you take a break. Your body will literally shut you down and you're going to be sick, because the body is saying, I'm tired, and you didn't listen to your body. And so sometimes people end up in the hospital. Sometimes they may end up with a sinus cold, or just a real bad cold in general. And it's like, now you don't have no choice but to sit down and rest, and your body was telling you the whole time. So now you burnt out. Not only are you mentally burnt out, but you also physically burnt out, and now I'm sick. So making sure you guys recognize those burnt out and stress signs. I'm telling you, I hope that one day we can come to a point where we can implement mental health days into our packages with our employers. So we have sick days and we have paid time off days and vacation. And, some companies are a little slick. They did put them all into PTO days. But I still believe that there should be at least 10 days mental health days, because sometimes we're not okay and sometimes you do need to disconnect so you can reconnect. And so making sure that if your job don't provide that, if you got PTO days, use some of those PTO days for a mental health day. Engaging in activities that you enjoy. So self-care should feel good and not a chore. Self-care should feel good and not a chore. So when you are engaging in activities, let it be something that's positive, that's uplifting, and that is enjoyable. And seeking support when you need it. So that could be through therapy, that can be support through group, that can be talking to your friends. But everybody needs a support system. Man was not created to be alone. And hey, I know people decide not to be married and to be single, and that's okay. That does not mean that you're alone, though. You do need a healthy support of family and friends and stuff, and people that you can engage in and stuff. But it's not good and it's not healthy to literally be isolated from people. Practice self-compassion. So avoiding self-judgment and allowing for flexibility. So some people can give self-compassion to others. They can give self-compassion to their friends and people on the jobs and stuff. But when it comes down to them, they do not give their own self-compassion. It's okay to give yourself some compassion. It's okay to give yourself grace. Some of us have these long lists I got to do this, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And life happens sometimes, and could not have done B when I wanted to, and B gonna have to wait. And so what happens is if you're not giving yourself self-compassion or self-grace, then you begin to beat yourself up mentally and feeling down because you didn't get B done in the manner that you want to. So making sure that you know what that is and not judging yourself. Now I think that a lot of times we in society today, we are so hard on ourselves because society in general has put expectations on us. And a lot of us go and we try to fulfill the expectations that society has put on us. And when we fail, people have a way making you know that you failed and feeling bad about it because you didn't meet their expectations. And you have to know what your expectations and your limits are, and you're gonna have to be okay with that and forget what everybody else is saying or thinking. This is my one question I always ask my clients is when it comes down to things that matter in their lives. Some of them are just so worried about what people gonna say and how they gonna look and this, that, and the third. And I always ask them these questions. So how does these people opinion, how does it impact your quality of life? And then the next question I ask, do it impact your paycheck? How do what they think in their opinion as impacting your paycheck? So if it doesn't have an impact on your quality of life, if their opinion doesn't have an impact on your paycheck, then why are you letting it have an impact on you? Like they didn't went to bed and went to sleep. They don't have no problem sleeping. Here you are alone in your bed thinking about decisions and choices that you made based off of what people wanted, and you're not happy and you crying yourself to sleep. So just making sure that you're not being judgy with yourself based off of what people want from you. It's okay not to judge yourself, and it's okay to give yourself some grace. Um, so let me go on down to this. Hold on. I want that one. Common challenges and overcoming barriers. And so here are some challenges that you have when it comes down to self-care. Addressing guilt around self-care. Sometimes people feel guilty about looking out for themselves, and it can make them feel like they're being selfish. I tell everybody this: if you don't take care of you, who's going to take care of you? If you don't take care of you, who's going to take care of the people that you're responsible for if something happened to you? It's okay to take care of you. It's not selfish to look out for you. So look out for yourself. You got to. You have that responsibility. So making sure that you do that. How to manage resistance from others. Once again, people are going to resist when you're doing something that you want to do and they're not necessarily in favor of that, or it is impacting what they can get from you and your resources. And being okay with that. At the end of the day, who paying your bills is what you got to answer. And if they're not responsible for your bills, then be okay with that. Dealing with time constraint and finding budget-friendly self-care options. So budget-friendly self-care options, you can, if you don't have the money to go to the gym, there's a lot of YouTube videos out there that you can pull up and do different type of exercises and stuff. Making sure that you find time to do things. So this is what I tell everybody. So if you are married and you guys are off on the weekends, y'all have a conversation. So maybe Saturday morning, maybe your husband's time for himself, or Saturday afternoon, or in the evening, and they going to be the one to deal with your kids. Or, y'all figuring what that looks like to making sure that y'all are being consistent. And it doesn't necessarily, self-care shouldn't be like one day a week. It should be every day. And that could mean that you're getting up 15 minutes before everybody and just enjoying some quiet time, meditation, reading something, whatever you want to read to get your day started, stuff like that, or taking a bubble bath, or just reading a book, or when you're putting your kids down, to bed. So if your kids have a schedule and they are put down to bed between 8 and 8:30, they should be asleep by 9, 9:30, they'll get used to it. And taking that quiet time and doing something just for you, making sure that you do that. Um, so self-care is very important. I do want you guys to please go and research and see what self-care may look like for you guys, and finding out some things that you guys can do to start caring for yourself, making sure that it is within your budget. You don't want to go into debt trying to do self-care. That's not wise and that's not smart, because what it's going to do is put a lot of stress on you. And if you have kids or a family, it's going to impact them too. So just finding the little things. It could just be, let me just go and drink a cup of green tea, giving that nourishment to your body. I may not eat a lot of vegetables all every day, but finding out what vegetable you like eating and trying to eat that at least once a day. That's self-care. So I might eat my carrots because I like carrots. So I might eat them and have that a part of my lunch, making sure that you're getting plenty of rest and plenty of sleep. Now, when we talk about self-care, I want to talk about my eye. So I'm going to take my glasses off so you can see. But I was born with a condition called microphthalmia. And it is a rare development disorder where one or both eyes are abnormally small. So it occurs during the development, when the eyes are being development in birth. So while you in your mama's womb is when it's happened. And it is something that is rare. And so what happens is that it is a slightly smaller eye. And in some cases, some people don't have an eye, and you cannot see out of it. And so I have been wearing this prosthetic eye. Just want to show it to y'all. And this is the one that we call where you could take it out for 42 years, I want to say. I was in the 4th grade when I first got my first prosthetic eye. And I was always made fun of and teased before and after I got it. And so probably about 10 years ago, if even that, there was a rapper named Fatty Wap. And he has an eye like this. And when I seen that and he doesn't wear a prosthetic eye, I was like, oh wow, that is cool. Like, I don't want to wear my eye. Because there was a time that I would wear it when I go out, but when I come home, so most women, when we come home, we take off our bras. Me taking out my eye was like me taking out my bra. And so, we lose it all the time or whatever. But when I seen him, and this is this rapper on national stage, and he's like, okay with that, I was like, I want to do that. And so, the reason why it took me so long is because I work with children, and I did not want this to become the focus of them. And so I started working for myself like a little over 2 years ago. And I had planned this year was going to be the last year that I wasn't going to wear my prosthetic eye anymore. I wasn't going to spend no more money on buying another one. They really expensive now. They like $10,000. And I'm just going to just not wear it. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. I have childhood pictures of me in grade school before I started wearing this. And that's part of my self-care mentally. I'm okay with that now. And I'm saying this because everybody has a disability. Whether it's major, whether it's small, whether it's physical or mental. Some you can see and some that you can't. For whatever reason, no one is 100%. And so I think that we as society have to make it a norm to accepting people for the disability that they may have, especially if you have no control over that, you know. And so, what society has done is that they have looked down and they have frowned up on people who have disabilities, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, and kind of made them feel real bad, you know? And I think that if we have compassion for others and we are not being real mean and looking down on people because they may not look like us, but just accepting them for who they are. And when I say show compassion, if you in a position where you may need to, you know, assist somebody, and that could be helping somebody cross the street. That could be this person is not able to walk and they may need help, you know, with their groceries, you know, carrying it out to the store instead of frowning up and acting like if you touch them, you're going to get a bad disease or stuff. So I am doing this for all the people who looks like me. It's okay if you want to wear a prosthetic. I had for 41 years. And it's okay if you don't. I'm able to do everything that I ever wanted to do it. I'm able to do what everybody is able to do. And sometimes some people may not, and sometimes people may need some assistance because of their disability. So the way that they need to do things that other people can do, it may look different, but that does not mean that there is something wrong with them. And so this was me taking care of myself. And this is what's doing for me what I feel that was best for me. And I'm okay with it. Now I'm mad at myself because this is day 8. And I wish I would have did. I wish I would have done it long time ago. So now when I look in the mirror, and I do look at the mirror and just be looking at myself like, girl, why'd you wait this long? You know? So I'm in a space now where I am mentally and spiritually healthy. And I'm okay with how God made me. He made me very unique. And I think it's just cool that you're not going to find too many people that look like me. So this ends this podcast. I hope it was very helpful for you guys. I do want to encourage you guys to go and look into self-care and start practicing self-care. Start off with 15 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be the same time every day because life happens, but you can schedule it around an event that happens daily. So you know you're going to eat lunch every day. You know you're going to eat dinner. You know you're going to eat breakfast. You know you're going to take a shower. You know you're going to brush your teeth. So plan it around an event that happens every day. So you probably want to do 15 minutes before or 15 minutes after. But whatever you do, make sure that you take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, who will? And until next week's episode, which will be episode 9, I will see you guys. Have a good day. And in Tabitha Brown words, if you're not having a good day, don't you go mess up somebody else's day. And in my words, go sit yourself down in time out until you are ready to reconnect in a healthy manner. Have a good one.